Hey everybody, 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins, Wednesday evening tropical update. And, 93 is just struggling, really struggling to get anything done there. It's sitting over land. I mean, you can only do so much as a tropical system over land, right? If you take a look at this track, you can see once that center kind of reformed just south of Jacksonville, it's been basically over top of land the whole time. So not going to do much strengthening while it's over land. However, right now it looks like it is actually trying to get off of land now, out into the Gulf, just south of Destin. But it's a broad area of low pressure. You can see it's very unorganized at this time. There's actually moisture moving into southeast Louisiana already. However, there is a small, small chance that it does something in this range right in here. And look, there is not much time for that. So if the center is right here, that's what, less than 200 miles for this thing to drift to the west at 12 miles per hour. So, here we go. That's less than 24 hours, okay? So not just a big chance that it's going to do anything. The Hurricane Center is giving it a 40% chance at this point. And you can see they've got the center now a little bit further out. They just updated this. In fact, let me make sure they have 40% still, because I just noticed they updated to 8 o'clock is coming in right now. And yeah, they still have 40%. Still have 40%. All right, so the forecast models are, basically, well, let me zoom in here for you. I know it's kind of tough to see some of this, but the ones that initialize where it's higher up, they're right along this line right in here. And they kind of bring it over New Orleans, maybe even a little north of there. So I'm in the camp where this thing just hangs out right in this area here, just barely over the Gulf. Okay, so it just doesn't have much of a chance really to do anything with it. We're got back winds on the south side out of the southeast, and that's bringing us these scattered showers we had today, and then tomorrow we'll do it again. Our forecast model says afternoon storms for the peninsula of Florida, especially after 2 o'clock, especially along the immediate coast. By 7, 8 o'clock, they're all gone. Now look where this is 3 o'clock in the morning, late Thursday night, 3 a.m. Friday. It just doesn't have much. This is the graph model. It really just doesn't do anything. And yesterday, and even the day before, it at least had a closed low in this area. Now it doesn't even have that. And, I agree with that. Like, it's got a ton of shear over it, right? And that's the reason. Well, shear's out ahead of it. Let's show you. If we could get it formed, it would be called Dexter. That is the next name on the list. The shear, and the reason why the center's been all over the place, it just can't organize. You see it's coming in out of the north and the east, and it's been there. Now it's in this one little hole, but that fills in pretty quickly behind this, really. And then I just want to do kind of longer term forecasting here. Look at this. This is the middle and the end of next week. All right, that's a week and a half away. Just starting to back up that shear a little bit, but look, this goes out through about a week from today. Ton of wind shear over the Caribbean and a ton over the Gulf. So things quiet. That's through the 23rd of the month. All right, let's talk a little bit more about some of the models. You can see the Hurricane Center has it again at 40%. Take a look at this. These are the forecast models from Tropical Tidbits. You can see it a little bit better. And notice how they're just mainly right there over the water, but just barely offshore. Intensity forecast models, they don't do much with it. These lines have to get up into the green area before it becomes a tropical storm and gets a name, all right? And they're just not doing that. And so this, may be a depression, 40% chance. That's what the Hurricane Center says. Now, this is the European forecast model looking at wind gusts. This is tomorrow morning, I should say. That's tomorrow afternoon. Gust barely in the 20s. Low 20s tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock, southeast Louisiana. And that's it. That's Friday morning, Friday afternoon. Nothing to it, right? GFS, same thing. It has even less than that. Look at this. Just nothing really there. Okay. This is the European forecast model. It's got the moisture. All right. It sees that, obviously, and a broad area of low pressure here. But that's it. Yeah, that's 5 o'clock Thursday. The core of the center and the moisture is moving on shore. I think it does get at least a little bit better organized. Maybe some moisture wrapped around the backside as well. But I really think that is it. Okay, GFS forecast model, same thing. It's not into it. Whatever. And then that's it. Okay, so That right there is Friday. It's a little bit later, then it takes it up. Now, let me jump back over here. I want to show you something different here. This is the precipitable water for the next week or so. And what I want to show you here is look at, first of all, look at Louisiana. You see all that moisture? Those are very high PW numbers. Okay, very high. That blue that's showing up right there, that is very high as far as PW goes. Get it here just a little bit. There you go. See that right in there? So what I want to, and that is essentially 93. And you can see all this darker moisture, all these darker greens. That's all the tropical moisture. Here's what's going to happen. This thing is coming up, this pocket of moisture. It's going to merge with more in the southeast. And it's coming right down Tuesday of next week. It's going to do a loop. Wow, I'm going to put this in motion. Watch that. Ready? Here it goes. Now it's up Mississippi, Alabama. That's Sunday night. But you already see what's happening. Look, there's already some other moisture out here. Okay? Remember, now it's kind of in here, and it's going to do one of these things. Tuesday morning, and then here it comes down across North Florida and back out into the Gulf on Wednesday morning. And literally at that point, we will have to watch. Look, these are surface winds you're seeing here, those white lines, and it is trying to say maybe a little low developing here. So this thing's not done. It's also saying a low sitting right here. You get the idea. It's a mess. And I think it's going to dry out a little bit in Florida, but we're going to have pretty good thunderstorm coverage across the deep south over the weekend. And then Tuesday for Florida, especially North Florida, Monday into Tuesday, we're going to get some more of that rain coming back. All right, let's do some real long-range stuff here just real fast. Then we will get out of here. Let's talk about the European forecast model. This is going to go out. Actually, I'm going to back this up and show you 360 hours. So this is the ensemble, by the way, okay? So one of the runs is seeing this, right? One of the runs does close it off. This is about 31 different runs or so. So not everything's going to happen here. Now let's go out to Sunday. Not much. Monday into Tuesday. It's trying to see something down here in the very southeast Caribbean, well, out in the Atlantic, of course, but head toward the southeast Caribbean. But nothing really much, okay? See that coming across the Caribbean? That's one little run, seeing that. Something out there in the Atlantic. It's trying to sniff a little bit out. Look at the Gulf. That's next weekend. Not this weekend, but next. So the longer range models are starting to see a little something. This is the GFS version of that. Nothing to see, nothing to see, nothing to see, nothing to see, nothing to see. Yeah, there's really nothing to see here. There you go. 23rd, 24th, something coming near Louisiana again. But that's literally very similar thing. The moisture just drops southward. So really, the headline here is not much to see here. Development through the end of the week, and potentially through the end of the month. In fact, the Climate Prediction Center, they do so Hurricane Center does next 7 days. Climate Prediction Center does the next, week 2 and week 3, right? This is week 2 through the 29th, July 23rd through the 29th. They don't have anything. This would be anything greater than a 20% chance of development. They don't have anything. I know this is really long-term model forecasting, but then look at the first week of August. This is July 30th through August 5th. I mean, the East Pac here, you can see, small chance of development here, and that's that's normal, and that would be moving in that direction. So things are pretty quiet. We still have quite a bit of dust in the atmosphere. Not as much over us right now, a little bit, but look at this plume coming Saturday and Sunday in the Western Caribbean, Western Gulf. And then more so, look at next week. That is a ton of dust for the middle to end of July. See it getting all up into the Gulf of Mexico, most of the Caribbean. That tends to dry out the atmosphere and keep things relatively quiet. That plus the shear. I mean, look, July, you only normally have 2 named storms in the month of July. Anyways, we've already done that. So it's kind of had its fill. And then August, things will start to pick up. At least that's what typically happens. We shall see if that is what happens. All right, guys, that's your update for today. Have a good one.